Hello and welcome back to the world of the spirit consciousness. This is a book study session on the astral body and other astral phenomena. We are now beginning the 11th module, which discusses the astral plane. In this particular video, we will be describing the difficulty in describing the astral plane, the geospatial layout of the astral plane, the constituents and importance of the astral plane. So a quick outline of the subjects under astral plane. So there is a difficulty in describing the astral plane that will be briefly discussed. The geospatial layout of the astral plane, the constituents of the astral plane, the importance, the description of the seven subplanes, and other miscellaneous phenomena. So coming into the difficulty in describing the astral plane, so a knowledgeable learner will understand how difficult it is to describe the astral world correctly using the physical language. It's like asking an explorer of some unknown jungle to describe the country they crossed. There are two important factors which make it more difficult to describe the astral world, and that is the trouble of accurately translating astral experiences on the physical plane and the limitation of the physical language to report fully what is seen there. So with this caveat, let us proceed with the discussion. We'll first see what is the geospatial layout of the astral plane. So astral matter's seven states corresponds to the seven states of physical matter. So that's the first part of what we'll be discussing. Then we'll be discussing the lower subplanes being closer to the earth than the higher subplanes. The astral planes, which start from a little interior of the earth and how it stretches till the orbit of the moon. So this particular subtopic is divided into these four parts. So coming to the seven states corresponding to seven states of physical matter. So astral matter has seven levels and each level corresponds to the seven physical states of matter like solids, liquids, gaseous, etc. Each state of matter is the base of each subsequent astral level, subdivision, subplane on the astral plane. Usually, the seven levels are depicted as arranged one above the other, with the thickest at the bottom and the thinnest at the top. But this is only part of the truth, not the whole of it. Each subplane has matter interpenetrated with the lower subplanes matter. Thus, the seven astral subplanes exist together in the same space on the Earth's surface. So let us see how the lower subplanes are closer to the Earth than the higher subplanes. So we have seen that they're all together, but the lower subplanes are closer to the Earth's surface. So in the physical world, there is an apt analogy given in the relation between the astral subplanes. So the states of matter interpenetrate each other. For example, some liquid is found in soil and liquid contains volumes of air to a great extent. However, it is very true that the majority of liquid on Earth is in the water bodies, seas, lakes, rivers, etc. above the solid Earth. In the same way, majority of gases are found on the surface of liquid but go out into space much more than solids and liquids. Likewise, the thickest cluster of astral matter is found within the boundaries of the physical sphere. With relation to this, the astral matter follows the rules of physical matter and is gravitated towards the Earth's center. So the astral planes start from the interior of the Earth. So the lowest or the seventh astral subplane merges a little into the Earth's interior. Hence, the beings living here may actually be in the Earth's crust. The sixth subplane is somewhat coexistent with the Earth's surface. The third subplane, often called the Summerland by spiritualists, goes up many miles into the atmosphere. So it also stretches till the orbit of the moon. So the outer part of the astral world goes up to the mean distance of the moon's orbit. Hence, the astral planes of the Earth and Moon touch at the point of orbit closest to Earth, but not at the farthest. So, just to note that the Earth and the Moon are nearly 240,000 miles apart. Due to this, the Greeks called the astral plane the sublunar world. Having seen the geospatial layout of the astral plane, let us now look at the constituents of the astral plane. So an important feature of the astral plane is that it is filled with constantly changing shapes. It consists of thought forms, which is made up of elemental essence and are energized by thoughts, huge masses of elemental essence from which the shapes form and disappear. It's found in several hundreds of varieties on every subplane like the air and could be seen in constant swirls of changing colors like the mother of pearl. Then it also consists of the thought currents which is constantly flashing through the astral matter. The strong thoughts remain as entities for a long time while weak ones become covered in elemental essence and flicker out again. So coming to the importance of the astral plane, so to undervalue and belittle the astral plane is actually a mistake. Definitely, it would be harmful for any learner to stay satisfied with achieving astral consciousness and avoiding any higher development. Sometimes one can possibly develop the higher mental powers before the astral powers, and this overleaves the latter for some time. However, most masters of wisdom don't usually adopt this method for their students and would mostly prefer slow learning, step by step, rather than proceeding rapidly. Something a little more on the importance of astral plane. The voice of silence speaks of three halls: the hall of ignorance, which is the physical plane, the hall of learning, which is the astral plane. So, here, once the astral chakrams are awakened, one can see much more on the physical plane, one feels closer to the truth of things. However, it is still tentative learning. Then the third hall is the hall of wisdom, which is the mental plane, and the real and well defined knowledge is gained here. So, having seen the importance of astral planes, so we'll now look at the description of the seven subplanes, which will be coming up in the next video. Stay tuned.